What is up, guys, and welcome to the Arcane Mage Guide for patch 5.4. Going forward, Arcane actually got some nice buffs going forward into patch 5.4, and what we need to be aware of is what the quality of life changes are for our Arcane Mage, and then what we really need to be worried about while playing our Arcane Mage. Okay, so first off, let's go through the talents. Ice Flows got buffed, and it is now really good. What it does is it holds up to 3 charges, and it lasts for 15 seconds. So what you want to do is you can actually press this while moving and casting, and I'll show you while I'm going through my rotation exactly how Ice Flows works. But pretty much, if let's say you're in your Rune of Power here, which is another buff, they've enlarged Rune of Power's buff to cover all the way out here. Before you see my buff fall off, I can stand all the way out here, run all the way over here, and I still have my Rune of Power buff. Really nice quality of life change for Mage, and this combined with Ice Flows makes casting on the move a little bit more bearable. So with the 3 charges, it's got a 20-second recharge, okay? So you can pretty much use 3 a minute. So how this works is, let's say I need to cast, okay? So I'm going to just pop my Ice Flows, Arcane Blast, look at that. I'm moving, pop my Ice Flows again, I can missile and move. Okay, and then that charges. Okay, you get a new charge every 20 seconds. It's an awesome change. Ice Flows is really good. There are still some fights where maybe Blazing Speed will be good, but Presence of Mind is pretty much now garbage for Arcane, unless there's literally a fight where you do not have to move. Other than that, Ice Flows will probably be your best bet because you can continue to cast as this is off the global cooldown. Temporal Shield, again, got a really nice buff. You can still use Ice Barrier for those really big meaty shields that you need, but now with Temporal Shield getting that reduction to all damage by 15% plus the hot, it's very good. Level 45, again, we don't PvP, so we don't care. Level 60, Greater Invis, Cold Snap, or Cauterize. There are always situations where having an immunity is really nice, so Greater Invis doing 90% damage reduction is really nice to have. I think of fights like Heroic Lei Shen, this comes in handy very much. Same thing with Council of Elders if you want to think about Cold Snap, being able to double Ice Block, or even Jinrock, being able to Ice Block off that immunity, Ionization on Heroic Mode, and then being able to use it again on the next pool. Very nice cooldown to have. Level 75 talents are bombs. As always, Living Bomb is going to be our 1 or 2 target bomb. Nether Tempest is our 3 or 4 target bomb. And Frost Bomb is going to be our 5 or more, if they're grouped up, bomb. There's really not any fights where we're going to be using Frost Bomb much, as Nether Tempest hits no matter where the mobs are moved to, and it just makes it a little bit nicer, especially for Arcane. Dotting up multiple knobs can give you missile procs, which really helps your DPS out. And then Rune of Power is pretty much the only way to go for level 90 with the buff that I showed you earlier. As far as Glyphs go, Arcane Explosion is really good. Some people mess around with Arcane Power. I don't like it because during the duration you can't get your mana that low. Maybe with the new 4-piece using Glyph of Arcane Power, with all those extra missile procs, maybe you can get away with having that Arcane Power up for longer. But having it on a shorter duration, you can line it up with Trinkets a little bit easier. You have a little bit more forgiveness on when you're popping that big CD. Glyph of Armors always has its nice effects when needed. Glyph of Blink to travel a little longer is always good. Counterspell, again, off the global cooldown can be very useful. Evocation, again with Rune of Power, makes healing yourself very easy, makes life for your healer so much easier. Ice Block, again, not really good for PvE so much. And any other ones? Mana Gem, some people will use this, as we call this the Lazy Mage's Glyph. That way you don't have to refresh your gems in between every fight, because you can have up to 10 of them, so if you have really long fights, this is really good. But otherwise, you can use other glyphs that'll probably give you a little bit more. Rapid Displacement, this is the double blink glyph. As you can see, I do have it in, so I'll show you how that works. You can blink, turn around, blink back. Again, for Arcane Mages, this is amazing because you can get out of things and go right back into your rune. You can have your other rune set up and move back and forth between them with a blink. It's so good. This is a great quality of life change for Arcane. Minor Glyphs, again, the only one I really prefer is Momentum. Other than that, they are completely worthless, so we're not going to go through those. Alright guys, and then as far as stat priority, our stat priority is always going to be int hit to cap, which is 15% or 5100. And then we also, after that, we want mastery. We want a ton of mastery, okay? And then we want haste. Okay, so it goes int, hit the cap, mastery, haste, and you pretty much can follow that all the way through. There hasn't really been any haste cap out points that I've seen reached as of yet. Maybe at the end of the tier when everybody's in BIS there may be, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. But for going into 5.4, again, int, hit the cap, mastery, haste. Alright, now as far as rotation goes, rotation for Arcane is really simple. You pretty much, your goal is mana management and movement management. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to say to yourself at all times, am I in a good position where I don't need to move for an extended period of time? Am I ready for any ability that's coming out? And how's my mana? Okay, so the goal is to get to 4 stacks while maintaining mana, and then you can use your Arcane Barrage to get rid of it, your stacks. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to run through real quick kind of your burst initial phase, and then I'll show you my macro here real quick for Arcane Power, okay? And this is really all I have right here. Now, if you have engineering, obviously your engineering will go in here as well, pretty much right after berserking, right before altar time. And then you go right in, and this will do all this on one global and cast your missiles starting for you. So, just to go through it real quick with you guys, we want to do that. Let's pop Lust, Potion, Mirror Images. Let's get our dot rolling. And boom, we're firing. We want our 2 charges, we're ready to go. We're up to 4, popping our macro. Get as many as you can to make sure you barrage off and then reset your stacks. And then you alter time back to this, and you're always watching your mana during this phase, okay? And then you have your mana gem up, so as soon as you get low in that mana, okay, then you're popping your missile, or you're popping your mana gem, hoping for more missile procs, keeping that dot up, and once you're done, your Arcane Barrage off. Now we're in maintenance phase, okay? So as maintenance phase, we're just pretty much trying to get up to those 4 stacks, burn all our missile procs that we have, fire off our Arcane Barrage, reset our stacks, while staying in our missile and keeping our dot up. Our big thing is dot up time again, and if we need to move, we can do that real easy. Keep that there. Do this real easy. Keep that there. And then we're just watching our mana. That's all we're doing, guys. This is just mana management and movement management. So in the next thing, we have to go out here. So we're out here. We're wasting our global to blink over here. We're here. Oh, we need to run back. Let's pop our ice flows. Run back into our other buff. We're back over. We're not losing any mana. We're not losing any time. And this is all we're doing to maintain. Okay, guys? But this is how you pretty much play Arcane, is again, you want to build your stacks, try to stay as high in mana as you possibly can, and again, as you get more spell power is really key. The more spell power you can get, the more int you can get, and the more mastery and haste you can get. Haste regens your mana, okay, that's why we want it, is it regens our mana. We don't really care about anything else besides our mana regen. So, and what our mastery does, just in case you guys didn't know, is Mana Adept increases all damage done up to 75% based on the amount of mana the mage has unspent. That's why we always want to stay at high mana. So we're making sure that we're tracking our mana gems, that we're always got those full, that we're ready for our cooldowns, making sure we know how many stacks of ice flows that we have, how many blinks we have, you know, where we're moving to. Researching a fight is huge for Arcane. Every pull is Arcane. You should be getting better at DPS because you're going to learn, okay, well, for this phase I need to watch out for this. But other than that, I can pretty much stay right around here. Okay, for this fight, we're all stacked up, unless X, Y, or Z happens. Well, if X happens, is my rune ready to go? Can I blink over, get rid of a debuff, blink back in, not lose much DPS time? This is what we're thinking of as an Arcane Mage. We're constantly thinking of how we can improve where we're at and what our position is, where we're going to be next, where's our mana, how are we doing, when is our next burst phase coming. The great thing about playing Arcane is it's a blend of DPS along with knowing how to move and knowing how to manage mana. That's what makes this spec fun. A lot of people think it's a 2-button class. They have no idea how to play it then. This spec is a lot of fun once you figure it out, and once you really learn and get into fights, that's when the tricks come in. That's when the little arcane tricks come in of learning how to move, how to get in position, how to stay there as long as you can, and then how to get to where you need to be to make yourself a successful raid team. Arcane Mages are great for that super hard single target burn DPS, and especially going into 5.4, they're going to be really good with that A-bar cleave. They're going to be really good, obviously, with the multi-dotting, with the Arcane Explosion. There's just so many different things that Arcane Mages really do bring to the table that I think you're going to see a little bit of a resurgence in 5.4 of Arcane Mage. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and as always, see you in the next one.